I've done that fall, and it's painful. So we're not getting it right, because it should feel a little more painful.
Thank you so much for taking time to chat about John Wick 4.
Awesome. Thank you, man.
Of course. It's such a great movie. It's so much fun. I saw it a couple times in theaters, and I've already watched it like 2.5 times since it became available on digital. Man, I'm a big fan. You played Chidi, as fans will know. And man, like I was going back and I was like, I feel like Chidi has like more screen time than like 90% of the characters. Like you're in so much of the movie and interact with so many different characters. And I was like, this is really cool, man.
Yeah, man. Like, don't even tell me, man. I'm like, I was so like, when I saw the movie, I was like, oh my God, because you never know. Like, you do your job, and then and I know that they cut a lot of the movie because the movie was long, right? And they cut a lot, they tweak it, and you never know when they put the scissors and they start cutting, and you never know what's gonna fly, So you're always like, and I saw the movie. The first time I saw the movie was in New York.
Okay.
And man, I couldn't, like, I don't know. I was like screaming and moving, and I was like sweating, and like, oh my God, like adrenaline rush. Or the whole movie, amazing.
It is. It's incredible how the story is built over the course of these 4 movies, and now we're at 4, which very much feels like I was talking to Scott, and kind of what I said was like, it feels like an Odyssey. You have John, who's like on this Odyssey, and he's interacting with all these different characters. And it's just so big, and there's so much mythology. How much conversation happened with you, maybe with Chad, around who Chidi is, where he comes from, what his character is? Do you just kind of go straight forward with it, or do you have conversations about where you believe this character sort of evolved from?
Yeah, well, when I read the script, and I had some dialogues in French with the Marquis. Okay. Then my first take was like, well, I'm gonna present an option to Chad and see if I can turn it into Spanish, and I can bring that Latino thing that I have. So to bring the Latino flavor. And then he was totally cool with it, and he let me play with it like that, and try like even some Spanish words in some scenes. I did some scenes completely in Spanish, so we did a lot of takes of the same, and tried and think. Actually, the first scene we did was the one in the Continental, the hotel. That actually was my big scene of like, so where I'm in charge of the whole thing, right? So that was great. That was actually my first scene, because that allowed us to discover the character. I came in very late to the movie. Like, I arrived and it was right into it, right? Yeah. So, but I did a lot of deep work with my friend, director, coach, Ernesto Diaz, and we work, and we really went deep on how we bring this guy to life, and then how he's going to move, because that has to do a lot of the fighting. Mm-hmm. Like, my fighting techniques needs to match where my character is coming from in terms of feelings or goals, right? Yeah. So when we try options with Chad, and then he's letting me play around, and he started liking it, then I start feeling where kind of the direction that we were going, and then that was cool. We kind of co-create the character there together. It was pretty cool.
That is cool. What's it like working with Chad as far as sort of the fighting sequences, the action sequences, and all that, in comparison to maybe other directors that you've worked with in the past, considering like this is very much like his area of expertise, having been a stuntman in, going back years and then moving into direction? What was that kind of like?
Man, it's a high demand, high everything. Yeah. Like, when you think you got it good, then he's going to ask you for a little bit better. He knows exactly what he wants. Mm-hmm. And, so, you need to like give it 200% all the time. And the good thing is that that when he says, I got it, is because it's perfection.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like he knows, he's been there. He was a stuntman. He was a, you know, he's a fight coordinator. He's an amazing martial artist. So as a martial artist, when you have a martial artist, a real martial artist behind the camera, is a very big difference.
Okay.
Because a martial artist, besides directing the movie, right, you're also analyzing each technique. And a martial arts technique, for the fans of martial arts, we know what a kick is supposed to look like, what's supposed to sound like, and the impact and the damage that should supposed to be, what it feels real, what it doesn't, if it feels good contact or not. That those little details, right? You as a martial artist know, but when you're not, then you just, you know, you don't. It's hard to feel that, so to understand that. So if you're not a true martial artist, you know, so then Chad knows exactly what that combination is to feel like, look like, the type of impact at the same time that he's coordinating all the stunts around. You know, the car is going over this guy, the guy is flying in the air. So, you know, it's a lot of things to put together, but he knows, and because he's done that and he's been there, so he knows how it's supposed to feel. Okay, that fall is not looking painful, and I've done that fall, and it's painful. So we're not getting it right, because it should feel a little more painful. So this is kind of like a very like an example, right? And it's amazing, man, because you know that, you know, he's gonna get the best out of you for sure.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, it does an incredible job. The movie's amazing, and it's funny to hear that idea, like, you know, more pain, like, you know, like you imagine like a director, you know, like shooting a scene maybe where like there needs to be like more water, more rain, bring in more rain, or, you know, bring in more whatever. Like the idea of no, it's gotta hurt more. It's
not hurt more. It's not hurting. It's not hurting. So let's make an adjustment, because it's not. This is not hurting the way it's supposed to hurt. And yeah, man, and trust me, and that's why when you see these movies, the people just lose their mind, because it's like it doesn't stop. It doesn't stop. And then you see one scene. Man, when I saw the John Wick, when I saw the first time chapter 4, and I am seeing this big opening scene, this fighting, that it was amazing. And that was the beginning of the movie. And I'm like, okay, what's after this? How are you gonna beat this? And then in each scene, it's going up. Like he totally set up a new line of like movie action filmmaking in the industry, for sure. This is a before and after, you know, for sure.
I wholeheartedly agree with you. Those movies have consistently stepped up the bar all along the way.
Yes.
It's wild.
And to be part of it, man, is just such a blessing, and so thankful, you know. And what can I say? I'm a fan, man. I'm a fan. I'm a martial artist that love to train, love to feel that adrenaline on set, and love to have fun, you know. And I've seen these movies, and I've been doing movies my whole, like, many years now, independent, big movies, little movies, and I love to do it, you know. So be part of this is, besides being an amazing experience, and of course being in this, but it was just, I was a kid having so much fun, and looking at these other two kids, Chad and Keanu, like the fans, you know, and they enjoyed every second, and that's beautiful to see, man, you know.
That's so cool. Marko, look, I don't even know if I could end that on a better note, man. I want to be honest with you. That is some incredible insight, and I really, really appreciate you taking time to chat about the movie today, man.